والصلاة والسلام على سيد الخلق والمرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا فعلمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وأرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه واجعلنا من الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه وأدخلنا برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين آمين. Subhanallah, these stories from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he wouldn't know anything about it except by the revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So all the stories which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us and explain to the companions, it's all revealed by Jibreel alayhi salam. So there is a meaning and there is a goal behind all these stories. As the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, by Allah, He has given me Al-Quran and a similar one, which is the Sunnah. So he was given all the Sunnah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's nothing from him sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Nothing. So that's why these stories has a meanings and there is a lot of, teachings from these stories. And that's why he used to tell the companions in order to prepare them to carry the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And during our life and at this time, we need to increase our iman. And this is where our shortcomings comes from. Our shortcomings comes out from us because of the less of our iman, mean less strength. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said in the authentic hadith that the iman, the belief, the faith in your heart is going up and down, and it's going to get tired and weird. So renew it all the time, renew it. So these stories, it is to renew our iman, to increase our iman, and to make us more confident about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He is going to help the Muslimin and He's going to support them. Only we need to bring ourselves forward to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this story, as I mentioned in the previous lectures, 2 lectures, so it started about a king, and the king, he has the power, he has everything that a king have, but this king is corrupted one. He's not on the right path. He's not believing in Allah. Even though he claimed that he is a god. He is claiming that he is a god, like Pharaoh. And this king, he has a support by a magician. And that magician used to help him with his all tricks and the use of the jinn with him. And I explain how that magician, when he become very old and he feel that he's going to die, he asked the king, send me one young fellow so that I will teach him my tricks, I will teach him the magic. So during a very long screening process, the king find a very smart boy who was able to come and learn. And we learn from the story that the people of that country or that city, they have no knowledge about the deen. So that's why for them to give a boy to learn magic, there is no harm. It is okay. So it is okay for them means they don't know their circumstances and consequences about learning magic. So that's why they are okay to send the boy to learn. Now the boy, because he was smart And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants subhanahu wa ta'ala the people to know the real knowledge and to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There was a priest in the way, and during that trip, that boy, he used to go every day from his home to the magician. There was one cave, and in that cave there was a priest who is on the real Christianity, on the real deen. He was a Muslim. He believed in Allah, that He is the only God subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that priest, he start teaching the boy. And the boy, he start having conflict between the teachings of the magician and the teachings of the priest. So now he was confused, but by his nature, he always trend and feel himself closer to the priest, because the priest is talking about Allah, about the deen, about the day after, which is already Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He planted in everyone when he is born. So it is there in our hearts, in everyone. As the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, every newborn, he is born on the fitrah, on the fitrah. This is the pure fitrah, which is the pure teachings which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala planted in everyone's heart. Means, alastu bi rabbikum, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is making a witness upon us. When the time He created Adam alayhi salam, and He took all the atoms from his back, and that is his children, He told them, alastu bi rabbikum, don't you believe that I am your God? All of them, they say, yes, we believe. So that is the meaning of the teaching, that everyone by his heart, he knows that Allah is the only God. So what happened? This boy, when he comes to a situation, he was helping people in all the times. So one time when he was going back to his home, he found one big animal was distracting and objecting the people from going or coming out from their homes. Everyone scared from this animal. So the hadith didn't say what type of animal is this, but it was big one. So that boy, he was smart, and he say, now I should know who is better, the priest or the magician. So he carried a small stone and he said, oh Allah, now look to the dua which he make. The dua means that he believed that there is Allah. He believed that Allah is there and he is capable to do what he is asking. So he said, oh Allah, if the priest matter is close to you, means that you prefer it, so oh Allah, let this animal to die with this stone. Small stone, he throw it to the animal and the animal passed away. So now he knows that, oh, this is the truth and the priest is on the right way. So means that the magician is false. Is all the teaching of the magician is not good. So now, what is the next step? So now the boy, he recognized that he is on the right path. So he told the priest what happened with him, how he killed that animal. And the priest was so humble, and he said to him, today I can tell you honestly that you are better than me. You are better than me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you a blessings which He didn't give to me. Now you have some powers, so use it for the sake of Allah. And now the boy, he start helping people by Allah give him some powers to heal the sickness, like the blind people, like the people with the skin disease, like other kind of disease. So that boy, by the dua, he was able to heal these people and help them to overcome their difficulties. So he became very famous in that city, and everybody knows him. Now, at this moment, so the boy, he was carrying the da'wah. Now, how we will know that he is doing da'wah to Allah? Now look to the next incident when the minister of the king, he get blind. Suddenly he lost his vision. Then he was searching for somebody to help him to cure his eyes. Then they told him there is a boy that he is able to help you. So he went to the boy and he took with him a lot of gifts and gold and all the things. And then he asked the boy, all of this which I brought with me will be yours if you help me to cure my eyes. Then the boy said, I am not curing anyone. Indeed, Allah is the one who is curing the people. So he said, the boy said, if you believe in Allah, I will make dua to you and then He will help you and cure your eyes. He said, thus I will believe in Allah. So he made the dua and Allah cure him and return his vision to him. So he believed in Allah and become a Muslim. Now, the amazing thing about this story that this minister, he knows that the king is against this type of religion because he claimed that he's God. But the amazing thing about this minister, he went back to his position with the king and he stayed there, and the king saw that he can see now. Then the king asked him, who is the one who helped you to cure your eyes? He said, Allah, my God, help me to heal my eyes. Then he said, do you have another God other than me? He said, yes, my Lord and your Lord is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he said, how come you talk this way? And he started torturing him immediately until he told about the boy. Then he brought the boy, and then he said to the boy, oh my son, look to the way he talked with the boy. With the minister, immediately he started torturing him. But with the boy, he started saying, oh my son, I heard that you become so powerful, so you have the powers to heal the sickness and help the people during their calamities and disease. Then the boy said, I am not the one who is helping. He is Allah, our God. Then he said, do you have other God than me? He said, yes, my God and your God is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now the king started torturing the boy because he wants to know from where he brought these ideas and these thoughts. So the boy held and sustained the torturing until it was out of his control. Then he said, it is from the priest. So they brought the priest. Now, the first thing the king asked the priest, return back from your deen and believe that the king is the God. So he refused. Then again they asked him, he refused. Then what is the next action? They brought a saw and they put the saw on the top head of the priest, and they asked him, if you didn't come back from your deen, you will be killed. He said, I don't believe in you, I believe in Allah. Then they cut him into two halves. Now the thing that we should know, that the priest here is a role model for everyone else at this moment. He is a role model, and it doesn't be good if he return back, even though will be just by talking, not true from his heart. Like Al-Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, rahimahullah, in the time of the fitnat al-Quran, so he went through this fitna alone, and one of the scholars which was with him, Al-Imam Muhammad ibn Nuh, he was also passing through the same torturing, but he passed away because of the heavy torturing. While Imam Ahmad, rahimahullah, he stayed 2.5 years under the torturing until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he relieved him from this situation. So what I mean by this, that when it is a role model, a man who is representing, a big ideas, it is not acceptable that he will return back from his way and change his deen. That's why the priest didn't change. So when the priest stayed fixed on his iman and his faith, now look to the minister now. They brought next the minister and they asked him, return back from your deen and believe that the king is your God. He refused. Then they brought the saw again and put the saw on the top of his head. And they asked him again, he refused. They cut him into 2 halves. See now, this minister, his time with the deen is just only 2 days. He just believed in the day before, and the next day he brought for torturing, and the 3rd day he was killed. It's only 2 days with the true belief, but he was so strong and his faith was so strong, equal to the priest, which he carried all these teachings for long time. So why this happened? Because he saw the priest, how he was strong, and he never deviate, and he never changed his belief, and his heart stayed fixed on the belief of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's how it was so tight with the minister. He didn't change his mind. Al-Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, when they took him the first time for torturing and they crucify him in front of the people, on his way, when the guards chained him and moved him, he met a thief who is stealing the things of the people. He met a thief on his way. So the thief told him, "Oh Imam, stay fixed on your deen." Imagine a thief talking to the Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. He said, "Oh Imam, stay fixed on your deen. The pain is just only for the first 2 whips. After that, you will never feel any pain." So Al-Imam Ahmad said, "By Allah, those words give me strength. I never felt it before." So that's why when you see this type of iman with the people, the faith, then you stay fixed on your belief and on your way. So now, what happened after that? As I mentioned, to take the license to change your talking when you are under torturing, in Islam it is accepted. Like Ammar ibn Yasir radiyallahu anhu, when they were torturing him to say bad words about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was patient and stay fixed until he lost his control and couldn't handle more torturing. Then he said the bad words. So Khabbab ibn al-Arat radiyallahu anhu, one of the famous companions, Khabbab ibn al-Arat, and he was from the first beginners in Islam. So he was a steel worker, means he was forging steels and making swords and etc. So how the people of Quraysh tortured him when he announced that he's a Muslim? Can you imagine how? Because he was working in a steel shop. He used to have the charcoal blown with air in order to melt the steel, right? So they used to carry him and put him on his back on the charcoal until the fat which is from his back melted and shut off the charcoal. His fat from his back shut off the charcoal fire. So one time, after the torturing, he went to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he asked him, Ya Rasulullah, don't you make dua for us so that Allah will help us and relieve us from this torturing? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam get angry and his face turned red, and he said, by Allah, there was a people before you who stayed fixed on their iman, even though they brought the saw and they cut them into two halves, they never changed their deen. But indeed you are rushing yourself. Stay fixed and be patient. Allah will make it happen for us. So the Prophet ﷺ, from this hadith, he is mentioning about this story, the story of this priest and the minister, what happened with them. So the story continues. The hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, he said, then they brought the boy and they asked him, change your deen. He refused. Then the king here, as I told you, he is dealing with the boy in a different way than he deal with the minister and the priest. Why? Because the boy is very famous and many of the people, they accepted his da'wah and he become beloved to the people. So it will be a revolution if he killed him immediately in front of the people. But look now how the king is approaching with this boy. So the Prophet ﷺ said, then the king, he ordered his guards to take the boy, and he said to them, take him and go to the highest mountain in the city. And when you reach to the top of the mountain, throw him from there. Throw him from there. So why the king is doing this? Because he wants the killing of the people to become as an incident. As an incident means like he fell down from the mountain. He didn't kill him, right? So now they took the boy and they climbed all the mountain until they reached the top of the highest mountain in that city. And then the boy said the dua. Look to the dua which the boy said. He said, Allahumma ikfinihim bima shi't wa kayfa ma shi't. Oh Allah, take care of them for me the way you like. Take care of them for me the way you like. Immediately, an earthquake hit that mountain. Earthquake. The mountain shivered until those guards, all of them, fell down from the top of the mountain to the ground and they died. But the boy never shaken, and he was okay, standing fixed, never fell down. You see, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking care of his servant, even an earthquake won't affect him. The earthquake under his feet didn't make anything wrong happen to the boy. And the Prophet ﷺ said, and the boy went back all the way to the king. You see, now the boy at this moment, he was able to run away and escape with his life. But he didn't run away. He went back to the king. And then when the king saw him, he was shocked. What are you doing here? Where is your people? The people I sent with you. Look how the king is really, feeling his loss. He feels that he is losing this battle with the boy. And he asked him, where is the people I sent? Where is the guards? Where is everyone? The boy said, Kafanihumullah. Allah take care of them. Allah, he took care of them. And then the king said, he brought another guards and he told them, take him in one of the ships, one of the ship boats, and go deep to the sea until you are in the middle of the deep ocean. Throw him there and come back. Then they took him and they ride one of the biggest boats and they travel into the deep sea. And then the boy said the same dua, Allahumma ikfinihim bima shi't wa kayfa ma shi't. Oh Allah, take care of them for me the way you like. So the Prophet ﷺ said that the ship shaken and it turned upside down and all of them sink except the boy. The boy was saved in the middle of the ocean. Then he swam back all the way to the city and he went again to the king. You see the challenge? So imagine the boy wasn't doing this kind of challenge. The way of the boy was to make the da'wah by helping people. Whenever anyone comes to him asking for help for his sickness, so he's calling him to Allah, attracting him to accept the da'wah, and all of them become a Muslim. But now the boy, he has to face the king. There is no any other way, because now he becomes a very famous and his news is spreaded like a fire in every direction in this country. So everyone is waiting to know what happened with the boy, how he's gonna face the king. So they want to know if they are doing right or wrong. So that's why the boy knows that there is no time to run away. He has to go back and face the king again. So he went back to the king, and then the king was shocked. Where is the guards? Then he said again, Allah has took care of them again. So the king, he started looking to the boy and thinking, what shall I do with this boy? It's really now, he lost the control. He lost the battle. Then the boy smiled. I told you, he's a smart. Then the boy said, if you are not going to kill me in your way, you are not going to kill me in your way, but indeed, if you want, I will tell you how to kill me. I will tell you how to kill me. Then the king said, yes, tell me, how can I kill you? Then the boy said, you call all the people here in front of me, all the nation, let them come in front of me. See how smart he is. Call all the nation, all the people in front of me, and then you put me on a cross, crucify me, and then take an arrow from my arrows. So the boy has an arrows. So take an arrow and put the arrow in the bottom of the bow. My bow means he has a bow and arrows. And then you say these words. See the words the boy is teaching the king. Say, Bismillah, the Lord of this boy, Rabbil Ghulam. Then you throw the arrow towards me, you gonna kill me. The funny thing about the king, he listened and he adapted and he followed exactly the instructions of the boy. So he called all the nation. So everybody now is watching what's going to happen with the boy. So he brought the archery from the boy, the bow and the arrows. And he took one arrow, put it in the middle of the bow, and he started pulling back, and he said, Bismillah, the Lord of this boy, and he shoot him. So the bow, the arrow hit the boy in his chin. Then the boy put his hand on his chin, and he passed away. The boy passed away. Now what happened? The people who is witnessing and seeing what is going on, then they say, all of them, we believe in the Lord of this boy. We believe in Allah. We believe in the Lord of this boy. We believe in Allah. All the nation, they become Muslim now. So the boy, he sacrificed himself for the sake of Allah, for the sake of da'wah. So all the nation now, they become Muslim. Now the assistants of the king, they come to him and they say, look what you have done. Everybody now become Muslim. Now all of them, they change, and you are no more a God for them. What you are going to do now? Now he said, then he told the guard and the army, go and dig trenches or slits in every street in the city, and whoever never change his deen, throw him in these trenches of fire. So they start digging all the streets of the city, and they fill it with the big woods, and they start the fire. And then whoever don't want to change his deen, they brought him and they want to throw him. So the amazing thing now about the people, as in the hadith, the people, they used to come by themselves and throw themselves in this fire. They are not waiting the guards to push them. They come by themselves. And in one of the narrations in At-Tirmidhi, the book of At-Tirmidhi, about the same story, he said, the Prophet ﷺ said, when the king give his instructions to the soldiers to push the people into the trenches, now the women and the children become scared. But the men, they said, don't be afraid. There will be no more fire after today. No more fire. No more hellfire after today. And the Prophet ﷺ said, indeed, their souls been taken just before they touch the fire. Means once they jump, they die. Once they jump, they die. Their souls never stay in their body. It's been taken by the angel of death before the fire touch or hit their bodies. Until one of the women, which she has an infant still breastfeeding, she was so scared to jump into the fire. She hesitated because of her child, her infant. Then the infant said to her, oh mom, you are on the right side. Don't worry, jump. Don't worry, jump. She held him and both of them jump into the fire. And the continue of the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, after all the Muslimin were being burned, I mean they are gone, the fire gets more fire and become more weird, awkward, not controllable, until it burn all the soldiers which they are guarding the fire around it. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Al-Quran, قُتِلَ أَصْحَابُ الْأُخْدُودِ, means Ashabul Ukhdud means the soldiers who are controlling this incident and taking care of the fire, to feed the fire, give more wood, means the fire has eaten them and killed them. This is the meaning of قُتِلَ أَصْحَابُ الْأُخْدُودِ النَّارِ ذَاتِ الْوَقُودِ إِذْ هُمْ عَلَيْهَا قُعُودٌ, mean the soldiers were standing on the side of these trenches in order to make sure that the people, they are going there inside. إِذْ هُمْ عَلَيْهَا قُعُودٌ وَهُمْ عَلَى مَا يَفْعَلُونَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ شُهُودٌ, they are witnessing what is happening with the people, with the believers, how they are jumping by themselves into the fire. See, A very beautiful hadith from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, the martyrs, the people who gone into shahada in the sake of Allah, the martyrs, they will never feel the pain of death except a small bite of an ant. That is how they feel the pain when they die. The martyrs for the sake of Allah, whoever passed in the sake of Allah, he will never feel the pain except a small pain like an ant bite. Subhanallah. That is a blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the king lost his control. All the people who throw themselves in the fire, they won. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned ذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْكَبِيرُ. In this verse, ذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْكَبِيرُ. And Allah never say in Al-Quran, Al-Fawz al-Kabir means the big fawz, big winning, except in this verse. In all Al-Quran, only this word comes here because all the people who believe in Allah, all the people who jump into the fire, they are winners. And this is a big winning against the king and his soldiers. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala name it as Al-Fawz al-Kabir. Inna batsha rabbika lashadid. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you that when Allah wants things to happen, it will happen. And when He wants to torture, His torturing is so severe. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the fire to burn the people who started the fire. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. He make the fire to turn back and burn all the soldiers who are guarding and feeding the fire. Inna batsha rabbika lashadid. Innahu huwa yubdi'u wa yu'id. وهو الغفور الودود ذو العرش المجيد فعال لما يريد. All these words, it gives a strength to the believers, to the companions in the time they are in Mecca, that don't be afraid. Trust that Allah will help you. Trust Allah. Be confident. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you the power. And don't feel that you are weak, but victory is coming. And that is all about this story about the people of Al-Ukhdud. Now, a very important comment here. The scholars, they said, as the Prophet ﷺ said in Al-Hadith, يُبْتَلَ الْمَرْءُ عَلَى قَدْرِ إِيمَانِهِ, means that your calamity will be equal to your faith. Your calamity, your hardship will be equal to your faith. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to go through calamities, through any difficulties, that difficulties should match your level of iman. It won't be more than that. It won't be. And the scholars said, now to comment about this hadith, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala drive more tests for you, which is above your limits, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you again strength in your iman to match this calamity and these trials. Remember the story of Asiya, the wife of Pharaoh, when she was under torturing and she was piled. The steel was in her hands and legs under the sun in the desert. And every day Pharaoh comes to her and asks her to change her mind and to believe that Pharaoh is the God, not Allah. She never changed her mind, and she used to smile in front of him. When he was looking to her, he say, oh, look, she's crazy. Look how she's smiling. What the Prophet ﷺ told, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala show her the place in Jannah. Her place in Jannah. When she saw her place in Jannah, at that time, Pharaoh get mad when she was smiling and laughing to see her place in Jannah. So Pharaoh killed her at that moment. So this is what the scholars here, they said, when there is more calamity and more hardship or more tests and trials happening, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you the increase in your faith, increase in your strength, increase in your iman, so that you can resist and you can survive. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the story of the people of Al-Ukhdud. Imagine in Al-Quran it is just few lines, but the story is very big and very emotional and very, objective. The meaning of this story is so powerful. It gives a lot of strength and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and increase the iman in our heart. So whatever calamities we pass through, whatever problems we pass through, don't lose your iman. Don't lose your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you trust Him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make things right for you. You just need to increase your faith. You need to become closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you see that you are losing your mind, you are losing your strength, you are losing your resistance and patience, go back to Allah again and come closer to Him and do more good deeds and try your best to become more closer to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that Allah will give you the power that